Yes, sir. We're back again. This is our second and last down, so third and Hail Mary touchdown right now. We're talking about the off season. We got Dula, who's going our mock guru right now. He's going to take us through his mock draft. We're gonna get some good knowledge on the draft before the draft season, well, before the draft picks around the corner. Again, we got Dula, we got Tim, we got James. Guys, let's go.
Before we start, hey Dula, I just want to say, are you able to tell us about the Megatron? I know you're a big Detroit Lions fan. About the Megatron party, retirement party. I heard that it was the Bumblebee girls, the Jazz girls. They were all dancing around. I just want to know how was that? Was you Optimus Prime
I
at the
mean,
party?
nah, apparently Richard Sherman is Optimus Prime, bro. Listen, listen, I love seeing these articles that pop up talking about, oh, Calvin Johnson, is going to unretire, become a Patriot. I'm like, the Lions own him until 2020. If Calvin Johnson's going to be a Patriot or whatever team, that's on their dime, not anyone else's. That's the beauty of contracts. Hey, don't listen. If you sign your life away,
Dude is making sure nobody's signing Megatron for life.
exactly. No one get it. No one.
But please listen. Me and Cooper was saying we are so appreciative of the mock draft. Your mock drafts are always off the hook. This one right here, I loved it. I loved it better than even the last one. I have a question. Okay. Okay. My question was, and I think me and Cooper was talking about it, the New York Giants taking Noah Spence. Dropped. This is a trade. Am I correct?
Yeah, I have I'm looking at it right now. When I crafted this, I have them trading down, and I think that's a very realistic possibility for them. I think no matter what, they're going to get a pass rusher, whether it be a linebacker or a defensive end, maybe a defensive tackle even. But I think they're looking at an edge rusher of some sort. Even after getting Olivier Vernon, after re-signing up with JPP, I know they like to stockpile those types of players. Got them trading down because at number 10, a couple interesting scenarios may happen. So I had Carson Wentz coming off the board at number 2, and I'll get into the Cleveland Browns in a second. But the LA Rams simply cannot go into this next season with Nick Foles or Case Keenum. What they also don't want to do is they don't want to see themselves, lose out on one of these top guys. Because after Wentz or Goff, you got a bunch of project type players. So realistically, LA may need to jump in front of San Francisco at 7. I didn't mock him to, them at 7 because I'm under the guise that Colin Kaepernick is going to stay in San Francisco. If that trade actually happens, then you may see LA or another team who's interested try to, jump San Francisco. As far as the Giants go, I keep, there are knocks on Noah Spence.
I lose my train of thought. All right, let's go ask you one quick question.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is if Colin Kaepernick stays in San Francisco or not, you see San Francisco going for a quarterback?
No, what I'm saying is if Colin Kaepernick stays, because right now I haven't taken Ronnie Stanley at number 7.
Okay.
That offensive tackle from Notre Dame. If they move Colin Kaepernick, then I think certainly the pick's going to be a quarterback.
Right, I agree.
At this point, if they move him, then that's just saying where they're going, and the whole team's identity. Yep.
Well, another one of my favorite picks that I liked on here that if you got a lot of mocks, you don't even see it. I love the fact how you had Ezekiel Elliott going to the Baltimore Ravens.
I like that.
And a lot. Yeah, I agree. Listen, and I like that so much because if you got Buck Allen from USC, who I liked last year, he was a big sleeper out of fantasy football, teaming up with Ezekiel, which to me that's really an Ozzie Newsome draft pick. I love that move right there. Flacco will be great with a running game like that. Buck Allen and Ezekiel Elliott. So that's one of my favorite picks you made right there.
Yeah, the Ravens at that point, I think they'll go best player on the board. Could they go for a Miles Jack? Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad pick. Could they go for a Darren Lee or a Hargraves? No, those are all fine picks, but I really think on offense, they get Rashad Perryman last year at receiver. I think they go Elliott to, really bolster that run game. It's a tough division, and Ezekiel Elliott's going to be a 3-down back. You don't have to worry about him coming off the field and pass pro. He'll do that for you. He'll run the ball for you. I think they're going to get back to a team that wants to grind the ball out and not have Joe Flacco throw the ball so much. And, I think
back to the Ray Rice days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Another thing, cool. Dilla doesn't have yes, Carson went to number 2 to Cleveland, but I don't see Jared Goff at all. Jared
Goff. He got Jared Goff coming off at 10, right? Isn't that what you have Jared Goff coming for 10?
Yeah, LA traded with the Giants for Jared Goff.
Okay, so pardon me. So Patrick Lynch is what you don't have in your mock. I just seen that. So Patrick Lynch is in the second round.
I have him going to I think he'll be at the top of the second round. I just think at this point Paxton Lynch is too big of a project.
Cowboys.
Possibility. Possibility.
Listen. I had my own. I was talking to Cool before the show. I had my own theory. Now let me ask you this, because Jerry Jones keeps saying that he will not draft a quarterback at 4, but he never said he will not draft a quarterback in the first round. Do you think it's possible that the Cowboys would drop back a couple of spots and draft Patrick Lynch?
You mean trade up and back into the first, or go back?
No, just trade back and try to get another pick.
Yeah, I think it would depend on how the board goes.
Okay.
If they see a team, because that's the thing about this draft. There are all these war rooms. There are all these teams, willing and dealing, and it's a big game of chicken. So basically, the thing of a quarterback is if you have a chance to get him, you get the guy. If you think that he is your end-all, be-all. The Cowboys are in a position where they don't need to leave this draft with a quarterback necessarily. If they don't like any of these guys, they can stand pat, have their backups, and try again next year. They don't have to have a quarterback right now.
Dak Scott, fourth round.
Yeah, I like Dak Prescott if you don't touch Lynch down the line. I really think he can be something a couple of years from now. So, I'm hopeful, but I agree with you. You don't need to draft a quarterback this year, we don't feel, unless you get a solid backer. But I really do think they got to do a better job than more.
Dolo, you're good. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I'm good.
Dolo, what's the cost that you have? What would you have the Rams giving up to go from 15 to 10?
I use this value chart to kind of project these trades.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I had LA giving up a 3 this year, a 5 this year, and a 3 next year.
Wow, that much? That's a lot.
I'm jealous.
To go
Again,
from 15
if
to
you're
10?
the LA Rams and you need a quarterback,
is that what the cost
what you
is?
gotta do.
That's the cost from the chart?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a lot.
Oh wow.
I think the Giants would do that in a heartbeat, man.
That's good value.
Listen, those top 10 picks have a lot of value, and then they start to decline quickly.
See, another one was Darren Lee to Ohio State to Philadelphia. I wouldn't want that in that division, but I know he's a good linebacker, fast, very fast, and that'll be something for Philadelphia to have. But Sean, Seattle Seahawks, Sean, I know Sean always keeps saying we need O-line, but you got him getting a defensive tackle here.
That team
I'm seeing a lot of moves for defense in the Seattle. I'm thinking they're waiting for the drafts. But when I look at your mock draft, Dula, you're saying they're looking for defensive more again? I mean, the O-line is the reason they're weakest link. They would have been probably back to the Super Bowl with an O-line. They could have taken down the Panthers with an O-line. Easy. Am I
Right.
right or wrong?
No, that's correct.
So I'm thinking they should during the draft. I'm thinking more O-line. I mean, of the off-season trades right now, it's defense, and I can see that. I understand that. I'm thinking they're waiting for the O-line during the draft. And I hear, I don't know if it's true, that the O-line in draft picks right now are stacked deep. So regardless where you're picking, you'll find someone good for an O-line pickup during the draft.
No, absolutely. The reason why I went defensive tackle is if you look at what they lose on the O line. I mean, they lose Russell Okung, which
Yeah.
give or
Which
take, it is what it
now
is.
we have virtually no O-line. It's done. when he left, I started crying. I'm like, dude, you can stay for one more season?
No, I mean, listen, the guy wanted to get paid, which, by the way,
Yeah,
he
I
has to
get
be the
it.
worst.
I understand. It's just
By the way, he has to
I
be the
had to
worst.
cry. I had to
He
cry.
has to be the worst agent ever if you listen to his deal. It was one of the worst deals you could ever construct. It's
What
definitely
was
not
that?
to
I
stay
didn't
with.
I didn't hear the deal. I know he left. What was the deal?
The deal was 5 years, $53 million, but it really is a 1 year, $3 million deal. The rest of it is not guaranteed money.
That's crazy.
So Denver could walk. Let's hope he doesn't get hurt again, because Denver could, just pay him $3 million and be out from the contract. It wasn't a great contract.
There's no security at all.
There was no guaranteed money in that contract. But getting back to why Kenny Clark.
There's a lot of.
I think that team. Again, when I think Seahawks, I think defense. They're predicated on defense. They lose Brandon McBain. They lose Bruce Irvin. I think getting Kenny Clark, who played as a 5 technique at UCLA, is a 3-4 end, but could slide inside to be a tackle in an even number front. I just think that I think Pete Carroll values the versatility a little bit. And then if you look at the board, could they go Jason Spriggs? Yeah. Could they go Cody Whitehair? Yeah. There are a few other guys. Could they go Jermaine Feedy? Yeah. But there's some depth in the second round. I feel like at that spot, Kenny Clark's going to give you better value than anything offensive line wise at that point.
Okay, so basically, if the offensive line is so stacked deep, we will find in our later picks. That makes sense.
There's some depth.
I get that.
There's some depth, and I think they'll address it. They'll have to address it at some point. I think Russell Wilson's going to want them to address it at some point.
Well, yeah. Dola, are you able to give us a top 5 mock draft right now? Let's just say if RG3 was to sign with the Cleveland Browns, me cool was talking about that earlier. If RG3 was signed with the Browns, what would their pick look like now?
I think they still take Wentz. Listen, if I'm the Cleveland, let me tell you something. If I was the GM of the Cleveland Browns, I'd be picking Jalen Ramsey at 2. And I would look into the second round for a quarterback. Reason being is because how many more times are you going to put bodies there and hope for the best? I like Carson Wentz. He's no sure thing, though. And he's going to a team that, I know you talk about losing offensive linemen. They just lost Alex Mack and Mitchell Schwartz. Basically they have Joe Thomas and a bunch of other guys at this point. So do you want to put Carson Wentz behind that? Probably not. Will they have to? Not necessarily. If you have RG3 and Josh McCown, yeah, you can let the guy sit. There's no rush to play him unless he's that good and can beat somebody out.
But if they sign RG3 and they take a quarterback, McCown is going to be out. I don't see them carrying 3. I don't see them carrying 3 quarterbacks.
It wouldn't be impossible, but you're right.
No, it wouldn't be impossible, but
it depends it depends on what RG3's deal is.
Mm-hmm.
If he's getting a Chase Daniel-like deal, then I think they might think about getting a quarterback at 2. if you're gonna pay
Yeah.
RG3 anywhere between 8 and 12 mil a season, you kind of have the mindset that that's gonna be your starter. But
Yeah.
let's be real with each other. I like RG3. Do you really want to build your franchise? Because I think Cleveland, for once, wants to try to win. It's going to be very hard for them, but they want to try to win now at some point. Now, do you see RG3 as a guy who is basically going to lead a team who's going to be bad for the next 2 or 3 seasons before they really pull it together? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if that's your
Yeah.
guy.
So
Yeah.
what would you do if you're RGT? Would you sign with Cleveland? I know earlier, I know I said I wouldn't sign with him because I just think that it'll be the same situation it was in Washington. If they draft a quarterback in the first round, they're gonna pull you soon.
RG3 should go to. I think RG3 should go to a team that has an established veteran and hide. That's what I think he should do. I think he should take the pressure off of him. Get with a coach who can
It's
coach
gonna
him
be a
up
long.
quarterback wise, and there's no pressure for him to play.
He'll be the bad.
I don't think he'll do that. I think he wants to play. I think
Mhm.
he's tired of sitting. He's done a lot of that in Washington. But it's the reason why he sat. It's the reason why Kirk Cousins took his job, and it wasn't an injury.
Yeah. And two, it was the management fault. They gassed his head up. He thought he was Superman. He thought he was a running back and a quarterback. Dude, don't run. Don't run into defense. He got injured doing that so many times.
And then you hire a head coach who that's not
Shanahan.
a style of quarterback.
Nah. You know what's funny? I never knew that how you could be so athletic, but you don't know how to slide. I don't understand that.
It's all mentality.
His
It's
head
all
was so
mentality.
gassed.
Yeah, they
He
can't
wasn't
baseball
playing
slide.
smart. He wasn't playing
I
smart. His
blame.
head was gassed.
It's not
Yo,
smart.
He
you
thought
gotta
that
blame the
because the
Redskins for that,
management got his
man.
back,
Yeah,
he can do
Shanahan did
whatever
them
he
dirty.
wants. He doesn't need to listen to anybody. I'm Superman. And then when reality
Listen.
hit him hard and he's sitting a lot, he didn't like it, and he didn't really have that coaching or that person to bring him back to reality.
No,
Look,
not no.
dude.
Well, not only that. What happened was that basically management wanted RG3. Shanahan didn't want. He wanted Tannehill. And when they made that big trade with the Rams, the Redskins dragged RG3. But this is what happened. This is where we all saw the story. Who drafts a quarterback in the third round? You draft the quarterback number 2 or 3 overall. Who drafts a backup in the third round? And what was the excuse? Oh, I think every team should have a quality backup. We know you lying. We know you lying, Shanahan. When he got hurt, he should never play. But when he did, but he's a competitor, X, Y, Z. But here's the thing. Middle of the season, when you wanted to call it quits, this young, healthy quarterback in RG3 then said, no, we're not going to quit. We're going to keep playing hard because we're going to go to the playoffs. Undermine Shanahan. And that's what happened. The story went downhill. Then here comes Gruden. Did the same thing with he let with RG3 and he let go of Alfred Morris, and we got Alfred Morris. I'm so happy with that move. So this is what happens. And a lot of times when these guys are cut of the league, it's not because they suck. It's because of the situation. It might not have been fair, and that's what it's about. So it is what it is.
I mean, that's pretty much what I was saying too. I don't want to put most of the blame on RG3. It's just you have this young quarterback. It's like you're giving a 5-year-old billions of dollars and expect that 5-year-old to spend that money wisely. They gave way too much leverage to RG3 as a rookie quarterback, and he didn't expect him to reel it in. It was
Which,
bound to
by the
happen.
way-
He's going to be a train wreck.
By the way, it didn't help that RG3 in his rookie season went 10-6 and won the division title. That added to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they added to it too.
He had a lot of success early. So, Washington's ready to put when you draft a guy number 2, and Carson Wentz, if he goes to, is going to see that whole franchise is on your back now. And after you turn that in as your rookie season, of course you're going to want more. And the moment people didn't get more, it was over. It was over.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you also can blame them rushing him back too from that knee injury. I don't think he was ready to
Yeah, that
play.
was dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like he never really was right. And I've also, I think it was you, Tim, who said that, him sitting out this year, the entire year, and him healing up could be a good thing for him. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Especially, and that's probably why he wants to play. He wants to prove that he can still play in this league. And
yeah.
for him going to a place like Dallas or something like that, I don't think that benefits him where he's going to sit for a couple of years. That doesn't benefit him at all. You know what I mean? It
I
really
tell you,
doesn't.
I tell you this. It's called the situation. I just say it. I don't want to jinx my cowboy flag behind, but here's the thing. We all seen as all cowboy fans, you'd be lying if you're not worrying every time Romo gets a hit. Every time Romo gets tough, we all go, oh snap, oh shit, what's gonna happen? We all feel like that. My whole thing is this: if you go to Dallas, you may have an opportunity to play if something happens to Romo. If something happens, we all know Romo's not here 5 years. It's not gonna be. His contract is funny for another 2 years, and they can cut him if they want. Now I'm speaking just true. If, but here's the thing: it's a very good if. It's not the same if you go to Cleveland. We know how the media is. They're gonna lick their fingers like food, and they figure, we're gonna take him out, and they're gonna put nothing but dumb media stuff on RG3 as if he's the one, he's the bad guy. Because again, what's gonna happen is the same thing happened with the Browns when they were forced to draft Manziel because of ticket sales. And again, where RG3 going there, fans are gonna be kind of hyped. But the thing is, this we all know the results are gonna be horrible. It should be very horrible. And so, again, he got to understand, I cannot put myself in this predicament. We saw it happen to McNabb before. McNabb was traded to the Redskins. Shanahan didn't really want him. It was a Snyder move. What did he do? That then was putting the smallest amount of playbooks for McNabb to sort of succeed in. The minute McNabb got benched because he couldn't do a 2-minute drill, Rex goes becoming, you see 5 wide, I form, they running the ball better, you see all comes out. Same thing happened with McNabb in Minnesota. Until forgot the rookie, the guy comes in. So if RG3 is smart, go and learn the position of quarterback. Go somewhere where they're gonna want you, they're gonna teach you, and they're gonna make sure you're the guy. Romo this whole offseason was broadcasting on Fox Sports for the playoff game. So, and I always say this: when you start doing things like that, you're preparing for life after football. If I'm RG3, stay home in Baylor with your parents. All right, go to Dallas and understand you're around an organization who always gonna put something around you. Not Cleveland Browns. I'm telling you, it's not good over there. Hey, listen, if you wanna go to a Brown, the NFC East played the Browns this year. $20 tickets, 50-yard lines. I'm down. $20 for the 50-yard line tickets. Are you kidding me?
We're running out of time. Quick, I mean, is there any last words you got to tell us, Dula, about the draft this year? I know we're going to probably bring this back up again in future episodes before the draft, but is there anything you have to say to sum up the draft right now?
In short, if you're a team looking for an offensive or defensive lineman, there's a lot of depth for you. Those first 2 rounds, there's a lot of players. If you're looking for guys who are versatile, meaning they can play multiple positions, it's a great draft for you. If you are looking for a game breaker at receiver, this isn't the draft for you. You'll get some good ones. Treadwell's good. Corey Coleman's good. Doxson, Boyd, Will Fuller. But there are no Calvin Johnsons. There's no Julio Jones in this draft. A lot of solid, ones, maybe 2s at first, but will become 1s. This top 5, what Cleveland and Dallas do in this top 5 is going to make or break this draft. Dallas and Cleveland both have an opportunity to really, make this good or make this really screwed up. If Cleveland does not go quarterback, and if Dallas doesn't go quarterback, you're going to see a lot of teams trying to make some trades.
Mess it up.
Because these guys are going to start falling.
You're going to mess it up.
Are there any? Prospect who kind of scares me. I think Robert Nkemdiche, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss. Some mocks still have him going in the first. I don't have him. I have him going late second. I just think he has a ton of red flags, and that interview with the draft did not help him.
Yeah,
he kind of sold out his teammate.
He wanted Jerry
He
Jones.
took responsibility for what he did, jumping out the window, having marijuana in the room, but he sold out Tunsil.
Not to mention his sack numbers. The sack numbers he produced over the last 2 seasons were not impressive at all.
Hey, listen, I just found out about Bosa. I saw that Bosa had 13 sacks with Noah Spence next to him, and then when Noah Spence got transferred to Eastern Illinois, you had then Bosa only had 5 sacks.
Yeah,
they say that he just solid.
So
he
then,
gets pressure.
part of that is that with Joey Bosa, he was seeing those double teams. When you have Noah Spence on the other side, you're not gonna see as many double teams because you don't want to leave this guy free either. Plus, you're talking about Ohio State team who had Darren Lee, who had Von Bell, who had Eli Apple. They were stacked with talent.
Right.
Ohio State may have as many as 5 or 6 players in the first round. When it's all said and done.
Okay, I'm coming.
So, the sack totals don't bother me with Bosa. Bosa's another guy who, you wonder is he going to play hard every down.
Okay.
I think Joey Bosa is going to have a Justin Smith-like career. I think he'll be very good, but he's no J.J. Watt. I don't think he'll be a 15-sack guy every season.
Okay, Dullah, I got one question for you because I'm going to have to get out of here, but I asked this on the Fury, and I didn't seem to get any response. Maybe you didn't see the question. But I was reading some, getting myself, because I don't follow college. So the only way I know about a lot of these players is by reading a lot of draft reports and draft magazines. And in a couple of magazines, I read about this player from Oklahoma State that played opposite Sean Oakman, Andrew Billings. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard out of Baylor, right? I've heard mixed reviews. Some people saying this guy's going to be great. He's going to probably be the steal of the draft. And I've heard other guys saying he's trash. So what do you know about this kid, Andrew Billings?
Andrew Billings is a monster of a man. I think Andrew Billings is about 6'1", 330-ish. He probably fits as a nose tackle in a 3-4. He could play 4-3 as a defensive tackle. The big knock on Billings is that he's short. He's 6'1". He's small for the position.
But they do say he has pass rushing ability, though. That's where his intrigue. Yes. So that's why I was wondering, but then I've heard some scouts say that, they don't think he's a bit he's trash, and other people saying that he thinks I forgot the player they compared him to, but it was somebody really good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow, it's almost like they're making this guy to be an enigma of the draft, where, some lucky team's going to draft him in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, and they're going to get a steal.
No, Andrew Billings is going to go in the first.
You think so?
He's too good.
Yeah, I didn't. A lot of teams haven't.
Andrew Billings made Sean Oakman, not the other way around.
Okay.
He was the cog of that defense. And he has pass rush ability. I think he's more so of a run stopper at this point. I think with him, you worry about him. It's a matter of leverage. He's shorter, so he has that. But can you teach him? Can you coach him up to really use that leverage? Some places he got washed out because he played a bit too high. But I think a lot of the issues with him are coaching. Unlike Bosa or Nkemdiche, this guy's a nonstop motor. He's you may have to take him off the field for passing downs. But first, second down, he's a great. He'll stop the run for you. He'll push the pocket a little bit. I wouldn't expect monster sack numbers, but if he got somewhere between 3 and 5 sacks a season, that wouldn't surprise me.
That's good for a nose tackle or any tackle.
That's good for a nose tackle.
Yeah, especially a run stuffer.
But I think his best fits in a 34 defense as a nose tackle.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
On that note, guys, there's a lot of draft information. We're going to be talking more about draft before the draft comes. Tim, Dula, James, thanks for joining us, guys.
Repost.
Sorry, Dula. Easy.
Repost.
Forget you, Patrick Robinson.
Dula, I'm gonna send you a friend request, man, because I got like a lot of questions